Hello, everyone. This is your NAO show of the week. I am Sean. I'm the owner of Airgate 2020, the future winner of the Dynasty League that is known as New Age Outlaws. Michael, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mike, I'm the owner of Frank's Beauties. I'm shooting for about third, maybe fourth would be nice. I guess if Sean wins.
Yeah, everyone's starting behind me. Go ahead, Mark.
He's setting the bar low so that if he overachieves, he's like, hey, yeah, well, yeah. Well, I'm Mark McKeever. I'm the owner of the Bobo O'Reillys. I unfortunately had to change my name from Say Can You CD because I couldn't get CD on my team. So you see though, I've got the Lamb jersey behind me here, so I'm all in on CD. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make the playoffs. I'll give that bold statement. I'll be making the playoffs, unless I get a lot of injuries. But I'm planning on making the playoffs and being in the hunt for that championship.
All right. Just so you all know, this is for this new Dynasty League that was created in 2020 called the New Age Outlaws. It's for us and the boys. How I like to think about it, it's guys talking about guys that play with guys, and
Behave. That's a little TMI, man.
First and foremost, I want to say, Steely, you suck. And on to the first topic. All right. First topic. We're going to go ahead and pick our match of the week. Michael, would you like to go first?
Oh, I got to go first?
Yes.
Well, I hope Aaron doesn't think I'm biased with this one, but my matchup of the week that I'm watching close is defenses win championships versus Goofy. I'm interested in it because they've both been very quiet all season. Not only that, but the predicted score is within 1 point, so that's going to be fun. But nobody knows what both of these teams are doing besides hoarding defenses in the draft. Which, hey, to Aaron's credit, worked out pretty well for him, actually. But, yeah, I'm interested in that one. I want to see what the quiet guys have been doing. I want to see what their teams are up to. They have interesting matchups in the game itself. I think there's a lot of fun stuff going on that one.
I think this is going to be a good matchup too there, Mike. It'll be interesting to see what Chubb keeps on doing. It'll also be interested to see if Mike Evans even plays this week. So I think
earlier today, the questionable mark came up for him.
Yeah. What do you think there, Mark?
Yeah, concerned about Evans for Goofy, for sure. But, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a tight matchup. I don't know. I'd have to scroll down to see who he might be able to put in there. But for Goofy, if he had to change out Evans there. But, yeah, definitely going to be a tight matchup. I kind of, looking down through their lineups here, I kind of leaning towards Goofy on this one. No offense there, Aaron, but yeah.
I think I'm going to go with you there on Goofy there, Mark. I think for a guy that's made, 0 trades in the offseason, has not even, moved a guy to the IR. He did. 2 people to the IR. Amazing.
Has he really not made any trades?
He has made 0 moves.
0 trades.
He's rejected me a couple of times. I didn't know he was rejecting. I don't feel so bad anymore. Thought it was just me. So
I got it too. Yeah.
No kidding, man.
I think he drafted pretty well. I'm kind of questioning Keenan Allen and
Keenan Allen gets overlooked every year though. That guy's the best route runner in football. I mean, his quarterback is less than it used to be, but
amen. I did a podcast with Josh and Brandon, and we talked about Keenan Allen some. Josh and I are higher on him than a lot of people are. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's absolutely right, man. I mean, he's just too good to keep down, I think. So if he stays healthy, that's been the only knock. He's had some injury problems, but he stays healthy. That guy's gonna do his thing, man. He is a great route runner for sure.
On that note, I think there's somebody else that we might be overlooking. I think it's David Johnson. Houston traded Hopkins to get him. I think this guy puts up 1,000 yards on with his legs and probably another 200 with his catching ability. I think David Johnson is going to probably, if Goofy is in there at the end fighting for the title, it's going to be because of guys like David Johnson.
Yeah,
Is it? Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, every down backs left. And, I mean, David Johnson doesn't have a lot of competition. I mean, who's the RB2 there? Like, probably Duke Johnson still.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on the Texans behind David Johnson.
He's certainly going to have the opportunity. I hope
he's a volume play. If
you
nothing
had to
else.
hope that it was that back, that was keeping him down last season, because he just didn't look the same. That explosiveness was not there,
Where we on Josh Allen? We gonna take him, or is he worth it?
I'm not crazy about Allen. I don't know. He's got the rushing upside, but I don't think the passing is coming along well enough for him to make that next, jump to that next level. There's a lot of guys high on him, so I'm definitely in the minority, I think, but I'm real skeptical about him. I'm not touching him in any leagues, any formats,
He's got a cannon for an arm, though. He's just not very accurate with it.
Right.
And hopefully Stephon Diggs might be able to help him a little bit there, but
I think that's where Josh Allen falls off for me. I think anything within 10 to 15 yards, I think Josh Allen can hit. Stephon Diggs, 20, 30 yards down the line, and he needs to throw it back shoulder. I don't see Josh Allen making that throw. And I don't think Stephon Diggs can make up a 4 to 5 yard difference in where it needs to be and where it is. It'll be interesting to see if he lives up to the hype. Obviously, we know Aaron, got Josh Allen because he's super young, huge upside, dynasty focus. I mean, if he does pan out, he's good for another 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a bad pick. But I remember when he picked him in the draft, I was saying, "Oh, thank you. You left Kyler for me," and I was really wanting to get Kyler. So I didn't know who he was at the time, and I was like, "Oh, thank you, sir, for picking Josh there," because I didn't think Kyler was going to drop to me, and I kind of was targeting him there, So.
All right, on to match of the week number 2. Go ahead there, Marky Mark. Tell us who you got.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm looking at. Let me get these names, man. We had a name change here. I'm still not sure I understand it, but keen to cook more trout. That sounds like some British guy trying to be clever. I don't know, man. That's a weird name. And then Brandon and Nevin there, they changed their name to the Underdogs, which is fitting. They're definitely the underdogs of the league, and they've had some bad luck with injuries. So I'll tell you what, though, I'm looking at the matchup, and there's a big point differential as far as what's projected there. 11 points roughly in Steele's favor there, but I like
that has to come from the running back position. Underdogs getting killed in the offseason with their running backs right now.
Yeah, they gotta have a lot of faith in Antonio Gibson. So that's going to be interesting. That's really one of the things I want to see is what do they do in Washington now that it's Gibson and Love and then McKissick, some also rans there, McKissick and Barber. So you figure it's going to be between Love and Gibson. I like Love. He would have been a lot higher draft pick on a lot more people's radar if he hadn't gotten hurt so late in the season and had a redshirt season his first year in the league, So he's an unknown, but he's definitely got some talent. So I'm kind of on his bandwagon more than Gibson, only because Gibson's had a lot less he's had a lot less in college. He just didn't have a lot of usage there, man. It's a
Was it
small
like
sampling.
33 total carries in college? Something
Yeah,
like
he
that?
had more receptions than carries, and he's a running back. So
Who are you
they, yeah,
taking there, Marky Mark?
What's that?
Who are you gonna take for the win? Who you think's gonna?
Well, I, they can hang with him on the top half of their lineup, but then when you get down to the flex position, that's where Steele has the advantage with. He's got Metcalf and Hunt, Robert Woods in there, and that's going up against Curtis Samuel, which I'm really hoping Samuel goes off against Steele after he tried to trade him to everybody in the league.
Curtis Samuel, the next Julio Jones.
That would be
Coming
that
for
would be
the
great.
Mhm.
That would be. I could tell him, all that hype you were giving on him was true. Who knew, man? But yeah, they got Corey Davis and Samuel Ruggs, who Ruggs is one of those guys that one play can make his day. So yeah, I got to lean towards Steele, but
What about
the
you, Mike?
underdogs aren't as bad as you would think. They got Mixon in that trade. They got Gibson. We'll see what he does. Devontae Adams, AJ Brown. They got some decent guys in there. Blake Jarwin, who's one of my sleeper candidates.
I'm pretty high on Blake Jarwin actually this year.
We're homers being Cowboys fans, but
we will hold it against you.
I told Josh and Brandon on a recent podcast. I've seen him do some things. So
there's a lot of targets vacated there, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. CD can't get them all, so right. I think Blake's gonna have a decent season. I really do.
Mike, what's your pick for this matchup here?
I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. I really agree. The weakness is the flex position there for the underdogs, but I think the Raiders might kind of want to show off some of their rookie wide receivers, so I wouldn't be too surprised if Ruggs way outperforms that prediction there. I think if he catches a break or two, I wouldn't be too surprised if the underdogs just come out and take one.
Yeah.
I bet you would love the Raiders.
Ruggs being the second best wide receiver they took this year.
Yeah, here we go. Ryan Edwards owner over here.
He got kicked around the league a little bit, and I don't think Mike's going to give him up anytime soon.
Yeah,
probably the best wide receiver that got traded to 3 different teams in the offseason.
Well, the funny thing is, it started out with Mike.
Yeah,
exactly.
Traded to you, traded to me, and traded back to Mike. So
look at that.
Yeah,
it was almost Claypool. Edwards.
He didn't appreciate him until he was gone.
That's what she said. For me, I wanna pick the underdogs. I'm gonna pick the underdogs because I think Gibson, he'll pull out 10 points for the underdogs this week. I think
they're gonna want to show him off too. Actually, like with Ruggs.
What's that?
I think they're gonna want to show Gibson off a little bit, like they're gonna want to do with Ruggs too. I wouldn't be surprised there.
Definitely. I think Gibson is going to be a factor. I think he's going to overshoot his projection of 8.4 points this week. I think Adams is modestly projected at 15 points. Name another wide receiver that A-Rod is going to throw to.
Alan Lazard.
I'll wait.
Greg Jennings.
Is
Exactly.
James Jones?
My point exactly.
James Jones. Jordy Nelson. Is he still around?
Yeah, Jordy. Yeah.
Alan Lazard.
Jordy Nelson is there. He's just on the IR, like he always is.
Las Vegas great, Jordy Nelson.
I think I'm going to go against the projection. I think the underdogs are going to get their 1 win this week, and
couldn't happen to a better person.
I feel so bad for them. The running backs just got demolished.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I actually messaged him and said I really felt bad because I traded him Geis and I traded him Hurd, and both those guys went down, and it was just kind of downhill for them from then for those guys, So I felt bad about that.
So, question for y'all. How many points does Gibson, as an RB4, need to put up to be worth putting him in the RB2, knowing that the underdogs don't have much of another option, really?
I mean, if he can he can get double digits, say about 12 points, I don't know. No, I mean, that's not going to
You
get him
think he has 12
RB2.
points in
The
him?
question is what makes him RB2. So he's going to have some points. He's going to probably have to be 15 or better,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he
it's
could
gonna
do it.
be-
I mean, he's a dual threat guy. I certainly wouldn't bet a lot of money on what his volume's going to be at this point. So that's why I said he's one of the ones I'm really watching this week to see if the hype is warranted or not,
Mike, to you. How many points?
I kind of agree. You got to be double digits, obviously. I think you got to be, at least in the teens, maybe too, to be up there. But like you said, I think he can do it. I think the hype could be real. There's a lot of preseason hype on a lot of guys that falls real short, but
yeah.
I
for some
definitely
reason,
agree. I
this
think
one kinda feels good.
I think
He's my
gotta-
RB2 in a different league, so
What's
maybe
that?
he's my RB2 in a different league as well. So maybe 30. I'm looking for 30 points week 1.
Oh, okay. So you have low expectations for Gibson week 1, 30 points.
Just 30, yeah.
Just 30. All right. I think he is vastly underprojected at 8.4, even though he is RB4. I think he might get 20 carries game 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's
He's
pretty
gonna get-
bold, man.
He's
Yeah,
gonna get
that's-
14. He's gonna get 14 points. I'm gonna say it now.
Okay.
And I think that Steely, you're my nemesis, but your team's good. I'll give you that. The one person that I don't like on your team is James White. Let me tell you why. It's because they have like 40 different running backs. You don't know who they're going to use in New England. And guess what? They have Cam frickin' Newton. Cam frickin' Newton. This guy will run for 1,000 yards this year. I'm going to say it. Last year, it's going to be the last year of his career that he runs for 1,000 yards, and James White is going to not even come close to his projections.
Come on, man. When was the first time he ran for 1,000 yards?
Rookie year? I don't know.
And you're calling it in at this point in his career?
Heck yeah. He's going to run for 1,000 yards. And
He might have to. They got a lot of injuries there, man. They were talking up JJ on the site today. So what's his name? Ian. Ian was all excited about JJ Taylor.
Even Edelman popped up on some. I don't think he's questionable, but he popped up on an injury list earlier today.
That's if he didn't, I'd wonder what was wrong, man.
Yeah. Edelman
Patriots,
does his best work
Patriots,
when he's injured.
Yeah, Patriots are lying to us, man. Edelman's got to be hurt.
He's played his whole career 90% probably.
Yeah, I mean dinged up all the time, but tough as hell though. He's a good guy. He does get hurt a lot. But yeah, I mean, Sony's just getting back, and Harris out with a pinky, and so yeah, Cam may have to carry the rushing load for now. So.
All right, so moving on to our final pick of the week. It's going to be my pick, which is the Silly Spicy Biscuits versus Skippy E-Dogs.
I think he named them in honor of Silly Dilly, didn't he?
Yeah. His boy, Brandon. All right, so when you first look at these two teams, for me, obviously the three names that pop off the page real quick, Saquon Barkley, duh. Lamar MVP Jackson, duh. And Derrick Henry. I don't think that is where the battle is going to actually be. I think it's going to be with the old timers, Todd Gurley versus Le'Veon Bell. You think Todd Gurley's going to hold up all season long? I don't think so. But I think week 1, he's going to be the most healthy he's going to be all season. I think he's going to do okay. I think he's going to hit his projection of 13 points. But Le'Veon Bell projected 11 points. I'm going to root for my man, Frank Gore, in New York. I think he's going to be the bell cow for the New York Jets this year. Le'Veon Bell, he's out. He's at tips with the head coach. and the coaching staff, I don't think he
Everybody
sees
is.
the ball.
I think whoever drafted Frank Gore this year is a genius.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
We'd have to look up to see who it was, but
I'm sure he's on a pretty winning team so far.
Well,
And
you got him now, but did Mike draft him? Is that why you're saying he's a genius, or hurt his elbow patting himself on the back there?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, man. What a mess. I mean, are either of you guys really excited about Bell or Gore? You know, running behind the Jets' offensive lines.
Anybody that plays for Adam Gase, I'm not excited about.
Yeah, true, man. True.
And I have Darnold as well. I'm not excited about it.
Yeah. Starting to worry about Darnold. I was a little higher on him the last couple of years, but I don't know if I've seen that progression.
Yeah, Gase is going to ruin everybody there.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of he's a buzzkill, man, for sure.
I think the deciding factor here is either going to be Le'Veon Bell if he gets overprojected, and Mark Ingram. I think obviously Baltimore is going to be a great running team. Duh. Everyone knows that. But to say that I'm high on J.K. Dobbins is a freaking understatement. I think by week 3, Mark Ingram is pulling only 40% of the running snaps. I think so.
Goofy owns Dobbins. I think probably just about everybody in the league has tried to trade for Dobbins, including myself, when I tried to get the pick number 3 from him so I could pick Dobbins, you know. Yeah.
Speaking of Dobbins, you need to give me Dobbins in the family league. Sammy Watkins, what up?
Yeah, right. That was one of those. I was in the rounds where you shoot for the moon, and Dobbins was the first moon shooter that I took. But Ingram, you know, he should be. They're gonna give him some carries, and I think they're still gonna use him. It's
I think week 1 specifically, he'll be fine. But you said, eventually I think that's the Dobbins show there.
He's the vet. They went a long way last year, and I think they'll probably use him similarly that they did last year. He really just he overperformed his volume. So I don't think the volume will go down. Maybe the numbers will a little bit, but he's definitely going to have a role. So I kind of figure it's going to be Dobbins backfield, maybe by mid-season or late season, you know. So, but Ingram should be definitely relevant early in the season here.
Do y'all think that the Baltimore Ravens can carry 2 800-plus yard running backs?
If Lamar doesn't run it so much.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Lamar being one of them, maybe. I don't know.
And if I'm Harbaugh, I'm trying to save some of those carries on Jackson's legs, man. You know.
Yeah. He's talked about kind of mirroring Mahomes' game a little bit, making some of those kind of throws.
Yeah. He seems to be progressing on the passing side. He has some decent numbers if you look at some of the deeper stats and whatnot. If you follow anything with Pro Football Focus or Next Gen kind of things, you know, I'm seeing some progression there. So we'll have to see if he makes that next step as a passer this year. Kind of think that's their focus, you know.
I think wasn't too long ago that Ingram was part of a 2-back team in New Orleans that you could roster both Ingram and Kamara, and I think you can do it again with the Ravens.
Yeah, definitely. Did we lose Sean?
Nope, I'm right here.
Okay.
You know what's funny is that these spicy biscuits over here are starting your boy Lamb. What do you think his over-under on 10-point projection is?
Cooper Lamb stack? Just every Cowboys receiver?
I don't think he's got Cooper in there. Oh, he does have Cooper in there. Yep. I guess he is, man. You know, Cooper seems like he's dinged up already, so I guess we'll have to see. I don't see a designation by him, so maybe he's going to be all right. I mean, he could do a lot worse than starting both those guys, you know?
Yeah.
I think Gallup is going to be the man in Dallas. I think he's going to be the clear-cut wide receiver 1. I think we're going to run into the same situation as AB and Juju, where Juju was getting the second cornerback and just lighting him up. I think that's going to happen in Dallas. Amari's going to get double covered. They're not going to let CB run and be what he's projected to be in Dallas, and I think Gallup is going to get 1,100 yards easy this year.
We'll have to see where they line them all up.
Yeah.
I think they plan on making them interchangeable, which sounds very smart to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that your nickel corner, you never know if he's on Coop or Gallup or CD, and mismatch central, man. It's going to be exciting as a Cowboys fan. But I don't know, man. Sean, you've made some bold predictions here, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gallup number 1 in Dallas, Gore
I'm cool
number
with
1 in for the Jets. We got to go back and write these down, man. I'm going to put them up on the board.
add it to the board.
Yeah,
add it to the board.
Week 16, we're going to revisit Sean's bold predictions.
Yeah.
Sean's bold predictions and how crazy he is. I will be the first person to tell you that I have zero idea what the hell I'm talking about every time I say something. So,
I do think
yards.
you're right about Gallup, though. I think Gallup at least benefits from the CD Lamb signing more than people were probably originally thinking. I think, like we talked about, there's a lot of targets that we lost from last year, or they lost from last year, I guess, to be.
Yeah, it was 166 between Witten and Cobb. So that's why
Dallas fan dropping target ratios.
Yeah. Well, I did it for show prep on another really good podcast called The Non-Neutral Zone, and I remembered it. The brain's still working. I'm an old man, but the brain's still working. So.
Well, at least something's working for you.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do we think about Sutton?
I'm not high on Sutton, man. That's one that I wanted to talk about on
Spicy
one of the
Biscuits got
podcasts
him in
I
the
did.
Flex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sutton's a great possession receiver. It just scares me, that whole situation there, because first of all, he's tied to Locke. I've got zero faith in Locke.
I agree with that.
And the only thing that maybe could help him is there's maybe less attention on him with the new guys they brought in. But man, I really didn't want a whole lot to do with any of that offense. Backfield is kind of muddied, and I'm not high on Locke, so that makes me put Sutton down a little bit. So
Marky Mark making a bold prediction not to go with the Denver offense. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, man, Locke is. I'm telling
They
you.
drafted and picked up some good guys, though. They'll be better, but it all comes back to Drew Lock.
Yeah. And everybody said, "Oh, hey, look what he did down the stretch of the season. What did he go 4-1? I think it was down the stretch." But his numbers were horrible, man.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff that is wrong with him, he can't really coach out. It doesn't get better normally. So he would be an exception to the rule if he overcomes some of his shortcomings as a quarterback. So I'm just really not in on him at all.
All right, last question, real quick. Who are we gonna, other than your team, who do you think is gonna be making the playoffs and make a big deep run? Mark, you first.
Let's see. Gosh, man, I haven't looked at everybody's rosters here lately. There's a couple of guys in me. Skippy, I think he's one of the higher projections. He's got a really good starting lineup, man. If his guys stay healthy, he's going to be there. He's going to be in the mix. He doesn't have a lot of depth, so that scares me. And same with Goofy. Both those guys have a really good starting lineup, but their depth is not so much. And sometimes it's about who you have at the end of the season, not there, in the beginning. So,
all right, who's your pick?
Okay, well, I'm saying Skippy, you did pretty well with some trades here lately. So, I think you're a dark horse to watch out for.
Mikey Mike.
So.
I know
we've
I know we've talked about it a little bit ourselves, but I'm still sticking with defenses win championships. I like I like a lot of what Aaron's done. I
Even
like the way
losing
he's drafted.
CH to
Yeah, that was tough. I think that makes his team this year not as dangerous as it was. Although we'll see what the Chiefs do with all their running backs again. But yeah,
all right.
I'm a little upset that he ended up with Singletary, Sean.
Yep, made that happen. Got CEH with.
You waited until I went on vacation to pick up Singletary.
Yep, exactly. I took advantage of the situation, of course. 2 firsts and Singletary got my boy from LSU. You know, so I'm not mad at it. My pick is going to be week 1. It's going to be Goofy. I think he did a bold thing without doing any trades, any moves, nothing. He's going to ride his horse till it dies, and I think he sees the playoffs with it. All right, y'all. That was our first show. See you in the Dynasty.